Part 63. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, UN Suya. Chapter 621. Chapter 621. You actually want to hit my woman. Han, Master Han. Shenjiajia met Hanzaja's cold eyes, and her arrogance was immediately suppressed. You actually want to hit my woman. Hanzaja stared at Shenjiajia with half-squinted eyes. Hanzaja's eyes were like steel needles, piercing Shenjiajia's body. Shenjiajia's whole body felt paralyzed, and she did not dare to look directly into Hanzaja's eyes. Muniankai was sullen on the sidelines, although it was undeniable that what Hanzaja said just now was a powerful boyfriend. Bart, who is his woman? Can this guy stop talking nonsense? She was still thinking about terminating the contract with him, so why did Hanzaja keep getting more and more confused? I didn't, she hit me first. Shenjiajia, who has always been arrogant and domineering, became as docile as a little white rabbit after meeting Hanzaja. Everyone expressed their disbelief. Hanzaja looked sideways at Muniankai, and Muniankai met Hanzaja's eyes. Are you okay? Everyone. Shenjiajia. It was me who was beaten. Where could she go? Muniankai rubbed her right hand and said mockingly, my hand hurts a lot, but Miss Shen's prosthesis and other things may need to be refixed. Shenjiajia felt cold after hearing this, and then immediately reached out and touched her face. Her nose was fine, not crooked, and her chin was fine too. Muniankai suddenly laughed at the side, so our Miss Shen has moved to so many places. Shenjiajia's face darkened. She had just checked it carefully, but she had forgotten that she had fallen into Muniankai's trap. Oh my god, it turns out that Shenjiajia really made a fake face. It's quite natural, actually, it must have cost a lot of money. From this point of view, I suspect her are also fake. Isn't she just an artificial beauty? Just like that, what right did she have to look down on Muniankai just now? She is a natural beauty after all. Shenjiajia stomped her feet angrily when she heard the people around her talking about her. Muniankai, just wait and see. After Shenjiajia finished speaking, she turned around angrily and left quickly. When she left, she didn't forget to look at Hanzaja. Hanzaja is really heartless. After he got a new love, he did this to her. Snort. Hanzaja walked up to Muniankai, but Muniankai deliberately didn't look at him. If this guy's love history wasn't as thick as a dictionary, there would be no need for her to have such an affair with that Shenjiajia today. It was really a waste of her time. Muniankai was still thinking about something when she suddenly felt her shoulders sink. Hanzaja took out a small and exquisite coat from the bag he was carrying and put it on Muniankai. This coat draped around Muniankai not only won't steal the spotlight from the dress underneath, but will actually make it look even better, making it very beautiful. What are you doing? Muniankai looked up at Hanzaja. This guy just went out for so long, didn't he just go buy her a coat? Muniankai thought this, then lowered her head and looked at it. It was, not bad. It's nothing, just wear it. Hanzaja moved his throat, his eyes evasive, and said to Muniankai. Did you pick it? Muniankai asked again. Of course, I still have good taste. Hanzaja said proudly. If he gave Muniankai a suit jacket at random, she would definitely not wear it, so Hanzaja had to pick one out temporarily. It goes well with her clothes and makeup today. Really? If you had really good taste, would you be with a woman like Shenjiajia? Muniankai feels sick when she thinks about that woman. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, UN Suya. Chapter 622. Chapter 622. Talented Man and Beautiful Woman. Hanzaja was not annoyed after hearing this. He looked at Muniankai's angry face with a smile in his eyes and said jokingly, isn't Shenjiajia a person similar to you? Muniankai was unhappy when she heard this. She raised her head and glared at Hansaja. What nonsense are you talking about? Who is as good as that woman? In my opinion, they are almost the same. They are all equally unruly and willful. However, Shenjiajia is better than you in at least one thing. She is at least very docile in front of me. Hansaja seemed to be interested in irritating Muniankai. Although he saw that Muniankai's eyes were wide with anger, he still continued to speak. As expected, after hearing this, Muniankai stood up and prepared to leave. She said dissatisfiedly, if you think that artificial beauty is better than me, just chase her back. She is so gentle to you, why do you bother so much? Make a contract with me. Hansaja still looked at Muniankai with a smile, curled his lips and joked, Miss Mu, are you jealous? Muniankai was startled when she heard this. How could you tell that I was jealous? Hansaja, did you also go to the hospital with Shenjiajia to have your skin processed? Otherwise, why would you be so thick? Hansaja chuckled and said nothing. Muniankai became even more angry when she saw Hansaja's smile, and said angrily, you can laugh to death. Muniankai said and was about to leave, but just after taking a few steps, Hansaja grabbed her arm. Hey, can you stop being so childish? Hansaja said helplessly, you can't afford to make a joke to me. Muniankai's face darkened, what's so funny about it? It's not funny at all. The party has just started, where are you going? Hansaja said and pulled Muniankai into his arms. Muniankai was wearing high heels and without paying attention, she fell directly on Hansaja. Hansaja seemed to have expected it and it was very natural. He reached out and put his arms around Muniankai's waist to prevent her from falling. Muniankai was anxious and angry. She was just about to scold Hansaja. At this moment, Hansaja suddenly spoke and greeted the people walking towards her from the front, Mr. Du, Directorin. Hey, isn't this Mr. Han from the Han group? Hearing the sound, Muniankai turned her head and took a look. Although Muniankai doesn't pay attention to their business affairs, she still knows who this person is. Mr. Du, who appears on the covers of various economic magazines all the year round, is commonly known as the most powerful golden bachelor in the business world. Mr. Du is 30 years old this year. He has handsome appearance, proud height, and the most important thing is that he has no girlfriend. It is said that he has a fortune of several billion and has more than a dozen luxury houses. Therefore, all women in the imperial capital want to I can marry him. Muniankai glanced at Directorin on the side. She had never seen this person before, but she looked like a standard capable strong woman, probably in her 30s. Is the person next to Mr. Han the daughter of the Mu family? Muniankai responded lazily. She was still holding Hansaja's dog's paw around her waist. She would have to chop it into pieces when no one was around. She really is a talented man and a beautiful woman. Mr. Du's eyes lingered on Muniankai for a long time, and finally an intriguing smile appeared at the corner of his eyes. Mr. Du's reputation. Hansaja said, and hugged Muniankai's shoulders as if he was declaring sovereignty. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 623. Chapter 623 I Can't Dance. Muniankai suppressed the small volcano that could erupt at any time. Now in front of everyone, she still wanted to save some face for Hansaja and did not push him away. After a few words of greeting, Mr. Du and the others also left. Muniankai finally couldn't bear it anymore and shouted at Hansaja, Hansaja, don't let me touch you. Hansaja disagreed, looking at Mr. Du who had just walked away, and said to Muniankai, what do you know? I'm helping you. Help me. Muniankai frowned upon hearing this. What kind of help is this for me? He is interested in you, But you don't see it? Hansaja stared at Muniankai. Muniankai's dull eyes said everything, she really didn't notice it. Although he is called the Golden Bachelor in the industry, that guy's love history is no less than mine, Hansaja said slowly. Muniankai twitched her lips, you are quite self-aware. I'm different, Hansaja smiled, I've never been willing to hurt girls. That man is just a beast in clothes. He looks like a human, but he's actually a scumbag, and... Hansaja he leaned closer to Muniankai and whispered, he has terrible sexual habits. Muniankai rolled her eyes at Hansaja, you know this too. Of course, I know a lot of things in this circle. So, what does it have to do with me, what do you tell me to do? Muniankai acted as if the matter had nothing to do with her. Hansaja was helpless, let me tell you, Miss Mu, can you have some sense of being a eldest lady? Your family is also one of the 4 major families. You are 18 years old this year. If nothing else, there are so many people at the party. The wolf is staring at you, don't you notice? As a marriage partner, Muniankai is pretty and charming enough, and she has a strong family backing her. Marrying her means marrying the Mu family of the 4 major families, so naturally she is being watched by many people. Muniankai glared at Hansaja and said, I noticed you are a wolf. You are so cute and innocent. Hansaja suddenly looked at Muniankai and smiled softly. Muniankai was stunned by Hansaja's inexplicable and charming smile. Before she could say anything, Hansaja had already taken Muniankai's hand and led her to the center of the dance floor. Where are you taking me? Hansaja didn't answer, but the host on the stage had already answered Muniankai's question. It was dance time, so people were already gathering on the dance floor. Miss Mu, can you give me a favor? Hansaja smiled at Muniankai and stretched out his hand. Muniankai stared at him and made no move for a long time. Hansaja simply took the initiative and took Muniankai's hand directly and danced a waltz. Hello. Muniankai's voice was trembling. What's wrong? Hansaja's tone softened and he stared at the woman in front of him. I can't dance. As soon as Muniankai said these words, Hansaja's brows furrowed. Are you kidding? Muniankai is a lady, but she can't dance ballroom. I really can't. Muniankai saw that Hansaja was stunned for a long time and ignored her, so she repeated it again. Muniankai's panicked eyes fell on Hansaja's, which made his heart feel soft inexplicably. This woman, when she is arrogant, even men are afraid of her. When she is weak, she can't help but arouse people's strong desire for protection. There is really nothing that can be done against her. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 624. Chapter 624. You hate me, but I like you. It's okay, I'll take you with me. Hansaja's tone was unusually soft. It actually gave Muniankai a moment of illusion. It seems that the person she always thought was a scumbag is not so annoying sometimes. But, what was she thinking? This was just the scumbag's routine. How could she be fooled by the scumbag? Hansaja frowned and looked at the woman in his arms. She looked gentle and weak just now, but why did her face suddenly change and she looked like she was going to eat someone? Sure enough, women are fickle animals. After dancing, the lights on the dance floor suddenly became extraordinarily soft. With orange lights and colorful men and women, the inexplicable and ambiguous atmosphere became stronger and stronger. Muniankai was just thinking this in her heart, but she was dumbfounded the next second. People around her suddenly started kissing, one pair after another, kissing so passionately that they forgot everything. Muniankai's ears turned red when she saw it, and then she raised her eyes to meet Hansaja's eyes. In a daze, Muniankai faintly saw the taste of in Hansaja's eyes. Because this guy actually stared at her lips and moved his Adam's apple, as if he was about to kiss her in the next second. Muniankai quickly threatened, Hanzaja, don't touch me or kiss me. Hanzaja had a smile in his eyes, and Muniankai's cute look made it difficult for him to control him for a moment. Damn it, what is it about this girl that attracts him? He obviously has a bad temper and countless bad habits all over his body, but he somehow feels a little cute. He's not a douchebag, is he? Muniankai. Hanzaja called her in a low voice. What? I'm not allowed to kiss you or touch you, then I'll kiss you. Can't. Before Muniankai could finish saying yes, she was blocked by the oncoming lips. She wanted to break free, but Hanzaja restrained her. She was not as strong as him, so she could only let him attack the city. Hanzaja let go of Muniankai, and there was a trace of blood on his lips. This girl actually bit him. Muniankai stared at Hanzaja and said angrily, Hanzaja, you stinky scoundrel, this is my first kiss. As Muniankai spoke, her eye circles became red, and she was very disappointed, leaving a big teardrop. Hanzaja wiped her tears and said slowly, that can be considered as repaying your revenge for stealing my first kiss. Muniankai turned around and bit Hanzaja's arm, and said angrily, you are talking nonsense. When did I steal your first kiss? I didn't even know you in kindergarten. Hanzaja's face darkened. Why did she always feel that his first kiss was lost in kindergarten? I've said it before, when you don't know a person well, don't label him casually. Hanzaja said calmly. You are just a stinker, I know you well enough. Muniankai said angrily, Hanzaja, our contractual relationship is over. From now on, you are not allowed to come to me. I hate you, I hate you. After Muniankai finished speaking, she turned around and ran away. Hanzaja shook his head and followed her helplessly. Muniankai ran outside, took a taxi and disappeared into the night. Hanzaja stood there with a sad face and watched Muniankai's car drive away. Hanzaja curled his lips and showed a bitter smile, I hate myself too, you hate me, but I like you, what should I do? End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 625. Chapter 625 Hope. During the days when Stefan was at Xia's house, Xia Ying practiced musical instruments with him. When he got tired from practicing, Xia Ying took him to play, and before he knew it, he had almost played the imperial capital. Xia Ying's college entrance examination results came out some time ago. She ranked second in the school. The expected ranking, she must be good enough to get into Taito University. So when filling out her application form, Xia Ying directly applied for the music department of Taito University. I don't care about anything else. In short, I will definitely be admitted. As for the number one in the school, there is no doubt that it is Ye Xiaoxun. Ye Xiaoxun's total score is 5 points higher than Xia Ying. Ye Xiaoxun is also the top scorer in science in the imperial capital. When the results were released some time ago, he was even in the news. Ye Xiaoxun's first choice is to major in Chinese language and literature at Taito University. Ye Xiaoxun likes literature, so filling out this application was also in Xia Ying's imagination. Jun Chenai was very lucky and was admitted to Imperial University. On the day when the results were checked, he was so excited that he couldn't sleep. As soon as the window opened, he couldn't wait to check the results. When he saw the score, he excitedly knocked on Rong Si's door in the middle of the night, waking Rong Si alive. Rong Si originally wanted to beat someone up, but when he heard Jun Chenai tell him his score, Rong Si immediately recovered from his drowsiness. Jun Chenai has not passed this score in 3 years of high school. It seems that the ancestors of the Jun family are really smoking. Otherwise, how could Jun Chenai's level be able to meet the score line of God's capital university? Then, the next day, the news that Jun Chenai was admitted to Chengdu University became a hot topic. Our young master is so great. He is such a top student. Young Master Jun is so awesome. I am so envious of the girls in the imperial capital. I also want to go to school with Mr. Jun. Then what are you going to apply for? On the day when he filled out his application, Rong Si specially followed Jun Chennai throughout the whole process, supervising him throughout the process of filling out his application. Of course it's the acting department. Jun Chennai said without thinking. Rong Si immediately gave Jun Chennai a shudder and said angrily, I knew you would choose this major because you are so heartless. Jun Chennai covered his beaten head, frowned and said, what else? What other major should I choose? I like acting, right? Then you plan to act in dramas for the rest of your life and leave the Jun family alone. Rong Si's gaze is firm and leaves no room for doubt. Jun Chennai immediately felt like a deflated rubber ball and had nothing to refute. Since he was 5 years old, he has already shouldered the responsibility of managing the entire Jun family. Therefore, his life path was arranged all the way, and he was not allowed to choose by himself. Jun Chennai had no choice but to abruptly change the chosen field he had filled out to a major in business administration, finance, or the like. Actually, he was not willing at all in his heart, but nevertheless, he had no choice. By the way, your parents will be back next month. Rong Si looked at Jun Chennai's operation and said from the side. I understand, how many days do they plan to stay this time? Jun Chennai's face was full of indifference, and he just asked this casually. I don't know, I probably told you something. Rong Kai continued. Jun Chennai finished changing his choice and was scrolling through Weibo in a low mood. Rong Si was beside him and chattering with him about some things he needed to pay attention to when going to college. At this time, Jun Chennai suddenly saw the #1 hot search on Weibo, Xia Ying's new song Hope. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 626. Chapter 626 The Last Play. Jun Chennai raised his eyebrows, then clicked on the song, and then the music became louder. Rong Si's words were drowned out. Rong Si was a little angry at Jun Chennai's behavior at first. Later, the melody of the song completely shocked Rong Si, so Rong Si calmed down and finished enjoying Xia Ying's new song with Jun Chennai. Xia Ying is really a music geek, every song she sings is so perfect. Rong Si admired it sincerely. Jun Chennai nodded in acquiescence, and then said, the melody of the song was written by Stefan, and the lyrics were filled in by Xia Ying. No wonder the style of the song is different from the previous ones. As soon as Rong Si finished speaking, Jun Chennai raised his head and looked at him. Hey, you are also a little fan of Xia Ying, right? Rong Si's face darkened. It's just a song, I'm not chasing stars. Jun Chennai smiled lightly and said nothing. By the way, you ask my parents to come back as soon as possible. I will go to Hollywood to make a movie in a while. As soon as Jun Chennai finished speaking, Rong Si's expression that had just relaxed suddenly became tense again. When? Mid-next month. Jun Chennai said, we will wait for notification of the specific time. Shouldn't you have started school at that time? Did you ask for leave from the teacher? Rong Kai continued. Jun Chen Yupo curled his lips. You already know this, you just have to say it. Rong Si sighed. Chen Yi, this is your last play. As soon as Rong Si finished speaking, Jun Chennai's face became covered with a grayish color. Of course he knew, it was the last play. So he will definitely give an explanation to his fans and himself. After filming this drama, there will be no more actor Jun Chennai or singer Jun Chennai. At that time, he would devote himself to learning business knowledge. From now on, The only person who would appear in the public eye would be Jun Chennai, the head of the Jun family. Jun Chennai looked at the black ribbon belonging to Mr. R on his wrist. Mr. R is his idol and the height he wants to pursue and reach throughout his life. However, that has always become an elusive dream. In the past few days, Stefan was completely led into the pit of the game by Chu Shenxiu. Chu Shenxiu recently wanted to play games with Jun Chennai, but found that Jun Chennai seemed to be very busy recently. He was not online and did not reply to invitations. So, Chu Shenxiu took advantage of a deserted afternoon. Xia Ying and Yu Lingfen went out to watch a movie, and dragged Stefan, who was studying Chinese, aside. At first, Stefan was only curious. Under the temptation of Chu Shenxiu, he chose to give it a try, and then he was poisoned as soon as he tried it. Then, within a few days, Stefan defeated Chu Shenxiu in the rankings. Great turtle dove, have you seen Stefan? Xia Ying came out of the musical instrument room and asked Chu Shenxiu, who was drawing circles in the corner and doubting his life. Chu Shenxiu raised his head and answered Xia Ying with a gloomy face, I'm playing a game. Xia Ying glared at Chu Shenxiu, did you agree not to take him to play games? Chu Shenxiu said innocently, I really didn't bring it with me. This guy took over my computer. Xia Ying frowned, since when did you let others touch your precious computer? Also, you don't want to play games yourself and let Stefan play. Xia Ying said that there was definitely something fishy in it. It was too suspicious and not at all like Chu Shenxiu's style. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 627. Chapter 627 Hot Chicken. Chu Shenxiu blushed slightly, and then said, because Stefan is playing my number. So of course he has no objection. By the way, it can also help him improve his record. Taking advantage of Chu Shenxiu's recent absence, he can climb to the top of the monthly rankings. Xia Ying gave Chu Shenxiu a very disdainful look, and then walked towards Chu Shenxiu's room to save the lost boy Stefan. At this time, a dialog box popped up on Stefan's computer. Shit, old turtle dove, I haven't seen you improve your game in a few days. Tell me honestly, did you spend money to buy a plug-in? Stefan looked at the nickname I am number one and didn't know what to reply. Then, Stefan tilted his head and thought for a while. When he watched Chu Shenxiu play a game before, he seemed to be mumbling about spicy chicken, etc. Stefan didn't know what that meant. Maybe it was a game term. So, Stefan typed pinyin on the keyboard for a long time, and after finally confirming the word, he clicked send. Jun Chennai looked at the hot chicken sent by Indian old turtle dove and was so angry that he vomited 3 liters of blood. This guy thought it was great to get the number one on the daily list while he was not fishing in troubled waters. Are you going to call him a bad guy who ranked number one on last year's annual list? As a result, Jun Chennai's anger was completely aroused. He went online immediately, and even deliberately ran to the combat zone of Indian old turtle dove. After robbing all his heads, he finally took his life. Stefan was dumbfounded when he looked at the game over on the screen. What? Who is this person and why is he so fierce? Then, I am the number one, sent a message, hot chicken. Stephen burst into tears. No, he finally got to the first place, and he must not let this person mess him up. However, just when Stefan was about to start another game, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. Stefan suddenly looked back and saw Xia Ying's eerie face. Stefan shuddered and immediately stood up from the computer desk. Xia Ying, I. Stefan looked at Xia Ying with a tangled and aggrieved expression, and silently crossed his fingers. Xia Ying took a deep breath and said, Stefan, have you forgotten why you came to see me? Music. Stefan answered obediently. You're going back soon. Every minute you waste on playing games means you've lost 1 minute of time with me. Hearing Xia Ying's words, Stefan suddenly felt that what Xia Ying said made sense. Stefan compared 1 and 2, but Xia Ying was the most important. Then, he followed Xia Ying to the piano room. Without paying any attention to what was happening behind him, he game overed again. When Chu Sensei rushed to the computer, he found that he had fallen out of the top 5. He was immediately unhappy and began to seriously regain his ranking. Especially, when he saw that Jun Chennai was number 1 on the daily list, Chu Sensei had the desire to kill. However, what puzzled Chu Sensei very much was that Jun Chennai was like a madman, chasing him to kill him as soon as he came online. What? Where did he offend him? Chu Sensei was just about to open the dialogue box and scold Jun Chennai when he saw the record of the conversation between Stefan and Jun Chennai. For it, Chu Sensei didn't want to admit that he had hired someone to fight for him, so he silently took the blame. Thank you little cutie Fangzi for the reward of 99 book coins, thank you little cutie Mochien for the reward of 10,000 yuan. Additional update for Mochien boss tomorrow. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 628. Chapter 628 My cousin Sakura is the girl you will never get in your life. Hey, big turtle dove, I will give you the first place next month. Chu Sensei looked at the message from Jun Chennai and felt angry all over. What do you mean by giving it to me? I'll grab it myself. Chu Sensei said with enthusiasm. Jun Chennai sneered, oh, so you've been trying to grab it for 2 years and you haven't gotten it yet? What's the matter? Chu Sensei's face was covered with black lines and he didn't reply to him for a long time. Finally, Jun Chennai sent another message, do you know why I gave it to you? Because I'm going to be filming a movie next month and don't have time to be number 1, I'll give you guys a chance. Spicy chicken, spicy chicken, spicy chicken, this guy Jun Chennai really holds a grudge. Stefan just sent him a hot chicken, and he remembered it till now, and would mock him from time to time. This childish man. Oh, so what? I'm going offline to play with my cousin Sakura. My cousin Sakura is the girl you will never get in your life, hot chick. After Chu Sensei sent this message, he immediately went offline weakly. Jun Chennai looked at the message from Chu Sensei and stared at the computer for a long time. Yes, Xia Ying is the girl he will never get in his life. Even if Yu Lingfeng hadn't been there, a person with a well-arranged life like him wouldn't necessarily have the chance to marry Xia Ying. His future partner must be a marriage arranged by the family, with no emotional basis at all. Jun Chennai thought of this. I couldn't help but sigh. There is no suspense that Xia Ying's new song has topped the major music charts. Sakura's goal is to put Xia Ying's song as the best single of the year. After all, Xia Ying has not released a new work since her senior year of high school. Fans are excited about this song, a collaboration between Xia Ying and Stefan. Extremely moved. Because Stefan and Xia Ying are both celebrities in the music industry, the songs they collaborated on immediately swept the song charts and topic hot lists in major countries. Stefan's mother's birthday is coming, so Stefan returned to China early a few days ago. Stefan told Xia Ying that he would work hard and try again, and then he would definitely come to her again. Xia Ying certainly believes in Stefan's promise. Stefan's current height is already beyond the reach of many people in the music industry. Stefan's goal is to become the next Modexi. Of course, he also has this ability and potential. The only problem is time. However, at the same time, Yeziaksun's birthday is coming soon. This is Yeziaksun's 18th birthday. Xia Ying is thinking about what she should give as a sincere gift. Yu Lingfeng, tell me, why don't I give Xiaoxun a song? Xia Ying looked sideways at Yu Lingfeng and said. Anyway, she is also good at writing songs. Yeziaksun's first book The Magical Doctor was made into a TV series, which ranked first in the ratings this year, and is currently in preparation for filming a movie. With the TV series ratings guaranteed, the movie can't be far behind anyway. However, the most critical point at the moment is the protagonist of the movie version. The TV series version was a great success. It was preconceived and left an excellent image of the male and female protagonists in the minds of the audience. Audiences who are used to such male and female protagonists will definitely find it difficult to accept the new male and female protagonists for a while. Therefore, the choice of male and female protagonists in the movie version is particularly critical. In order to cater to the taste of the audience, the producer directly held a voting event online to let the audience choose their favorite male and female protagonists. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 629. Chapter 629, You have been engaged before. The heroine in the original book is a stunning beauty. Although the heroine in the TV series version has good acting skills, she has been criticized for not being good-looking enough since the beginning of the casting of the role. Fortunately, her acting skills are excellent, and there are many more movies to watch later. And gradually got used to it. But casting for the movie version is much more difficult than for the TV series, so since the fans of the original work have a lot of opinions, we simply leave it to them to decide. We will see which ones are more popular before filming starts, and we can discuss it over there. Started to boot. Since it is the protagonist chosen by the fans themselves, the box office performance is at least guaranteed. Not to mention being a hit, at least it won't be too ugly. Yu Lingfeng lowered his eyes and thought for a while, nodded and agreed. Gifts such as money are not meaningful, not to mention that Ye Xiaoxun can't buy what she wants now, so it would be nice if you gave her a song. Idea. Xia Ying also nodded in approval. Then I will really send you a song. Ken. You can help me take a look at it then. Although Yu Lingfeng is not very interested in music and the like, fortunately, his appreciation level is high enough, so it is okay to help check whether it is good or bad. Then I'll start writing songs tomorrow. After Xia Ying ordered her birthday gift, she felt relieved. Ye Xiaoxun is now also a very popular writer on the internet, with an annual salary of tens of millions, so he and his parents have long moved out of the previous community and moved into a new house. Although he was very reluctant to part with the friends he had grown up with in the previous community, Ye Xiaoxun decided to move away. Because there, from time to time, I would encounter Yun Huan and Fan Zian being intimate. Fan Zian was the first boy Ye Xiaoxun liked since childhood, and he was not easily forgotten. But he is now the boyfriend of her good friend. All Ye Xiaoxun can do is stay away from them. The farther away she is, the easier it will be for her to let go, at least she won't have to be visually impacted anymore. Sakura. At this time, Luo Xian came to knock on the door and walked in. Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng looked up. Luo Xian glanced at Yu Lingfeng first, with a slightly concealed embarrassment. Then Luo Xian focused on Xia Ying and said to her, "Come here, I have something to tell you." Xia Ying didn't understand why she couldn't say anything in front of Yu Lingfeng and why she had to go to her alone. However, Xia Ying was just confused for a moment, and without thinking much, she followed Luo Xian out and walked aside. Jun Chenai's parents are back. Xia Ying became more and more confused. What does it have to do with me? Have you forgotten that you were engaged before? Xia Ying only remembered this old incident after Luo Xian reminded her. Xia Ying raised her forehead helplessly. I thought you were just joking. I think so too. After all, the two families have a good relationship, but I just had a phone call with Jun's parents, and it seems like they take it seriously. What does it mean? Xia Ying suddenly had a bad idea. Luo Xian was also very embarrassed. they invited us to have dinner together tonight and talk about your engagement. Xia Ying's expression suddenly darkened and became covered with a layer of gray, but it's impossible for Jun Chennai and I to get engaged. Don't be impatient yet. Luo Xian guessed that Xia Ying would react this way, so she comforted her and said, I will make it clear to Jun's parents and will not break up you and Ling Feng. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 630. Chapter 630 refreshes the understanding of Chu Shenxiu. Luo Xian's sedative was obviously effective. After Xia Ying heard what she said, she no longer panicked. Well, Mom, it's all your fault for being hasty in your promise, otherwise, this wouldn't have happened today. Xia Ying said angrily. Luo Xian also blamed herself a little, but I really like that kid Chen Yi. At that time, I thought you two were a perfect match and it would be nice to be together. Xia Ying sighed. Not to mention that she was still with Hanzija at that time. Of course, her mother never accepted this. Her parents never thought about whether she liked Jun Chennai's model. They liked it and thought it was good, so they nodded in agreement. But that was the Jun family that the entire imperial capital would be frightened to mention. The Jun family is so powerful that it controls 30% of China's brokerage lifeline. This is no joke. The mistress of the Jun family must be a kind of virtuous housekeeper both internally and externally, and she must manage countless family branches within the entire Jun family. Such a burden is not something that ordinary people can afford. What's more, for a person like Xia Ying who only wants to make music, she doesn't have such a big heart to ask her to give up everything and contribute to the Jun family. Of course, she doesn't like Jun Chennai, so naturally she won't get along with him. He's together. Although most wealthy marriages are not decided by oneself, Xia Ying's parents are quite enlightened and never said anything about sacrificing the happiness of their children for the sake of the family's interests. Because in their opinion, Xia Ying's happiness is much more important than money and status. But of course, Mom also likes Ling Feng. Luo Xian continued, although Ling Feng looks dull, reticent, and cold, Mom can see that he is very good to you. As long as he treats you okay, you like it, that's enough. Hearing Luo Xian's heartwarming words, Xia Ying suddenly showed a sweet smile, then stretched out her arms to hug Luo Xian, and said coquettishly, I knew you were the best, Mom. Luo Xian smiled softly and patted Xia Ying on the shoulder. By the way, Mom, if I marry you Ling Feng in the future, who will inherit Dad's career legacy? Xia Ying blinked and asked. This is a very serious question. She must not be able to do it. She knows nothing about business. Yu Lingfeng couldn't even speak a few words to others, had very few contacts, and didn't even know how to do business. So, what will happen to her career when her father retires? Well, your father's intention is to give it to your 13th cousin. Great Turtle Dove. Xia Ying expressed her disbelief. Isn't it really a joke that Big Turtle Ju, a guy who is either playing games or looking for games to play, came to take over Xia's enterprise? Don't look down on 13. Luo Xian smiled and said, I'm afraid you don't know that the 13th university majored in economics and graduated first in the major. Your father is very good at judging people. Although he usually looks very dishonest, but I still have business acumen. Is it? Xia Ying suddenly refreshed her understanding of Chu Shenxiu. Just at this time, Chu Shenxiu walked by with a lollipop in the corner of his mouth and looked at Xia Ying, who also happened to be looking at him. Why? Why does cousin Sakura look at me strangely today, more appreciative than disgusted? He doesn't seem to have made any special changes today, right? Chu Shenxiu lowered his head and looked at his new slippers. Could it be that the game's hero-style slippers have extra points? Well, cousin Sakura is really discerning. These slippers are limited edition. He took Chu Shengming and waited until midnight to grab a pair. They were so precious. This is an additional update from yesterday's reward. Thank you little cutie. Shwe, 137.50, Roy Source S rewards. It's the end of the month, little cuties, please give me a monthly ticket if you have more monthly votes. Xiao will try to update as many chapters as possible tomorrow. Compare your feelings. End of this chapter.